It was a quiet evening in the city. Rain touched the windows softly. Cars moved slowly through the wet streets, and warm yellow light shined from small cafes and bookstores. Inside one little bookstore near the train station, a young man stood between tall wooden shelves. His name was Oliver. He worked there every evening after college. Oliver liked quiet places. He liked the smell of old books, the sound of pages turning, and the peaceful feeling that filled the store after sunset. Tonight felt different somehow. The rain outside was heavier than usual, and only a few customers came into the shop. Oliver placed a stack of books on a table near the window and looked outside for a moment. A woman sat alone at the cafe across the street. She was reading while holding a cup of tea with both hands. The light above her table moved softly in the wind. Oliver watched for only a second before returning to work. "Oliver," said a voice behind him. It was Mrs. Green, the bookstore owner. She smiled gently. "Can you organize the old books upstairs tonight?" "Of course," Oliver replied. He carried a small box of books to the second floor. The upstairs room was quiet and warm. There was an old lamp near the corner and a tiny window that looked over the rainy street. Oliver liked this room most. Nobody came here often. He placed the books on the floor and started reading their titles one by one. Some books were old travel journals. Some were poetry collections. One book had no title on the cover. Oliver picked it up carefully. The cover was dark blue and soft with age. When he opened it, he found handwritten notes inside. The writing was small and neat. The first page said, "To the person who finds this book someday, please continue the story." Oliver smiled a little. He turned another page. The book was half empty. The first half told the story of a man traveling alone through small towns by train. The second half had blank pages. Oliver sat near the lamp and kept reading. Outside, thunder rolled quietly across the sky. After a few minutes, he heard footsteps on the stairs. A girl appeared at the doorway. She held a small umbrella and looked slightly nervous. "Sorry," she said softly. "Are you still open?" Oliver stood quickly. "Yes. We close in 30 minutes." The girl looked around the room with curious eyes. "This place is beautiful," she whispered. Oliver nodded. "I think so too." She walked slowly between the shelves. Her name was Emma. She visited the bookstore because her train was delayed by the storm. "I only wanted to stay somewhere warm for a little while," she explained. Oliver pointed toward the old chair near the lamp. "You can sit there if you want." Emma smiled. "Thank you." For a few minutes, the room became quiet again. Only the rain and the turning pages could be heard. Then Emma noticed the blue book beside Oliver. "What are you reading?" she asked. Oliver lifted the book carefully. "I'm not really sure," he said with a small laugh. "It feels like someone left part of their life inside it." Emma leaned forward slightly. "That sounds interesting." Oliver showed her the first page. She read the sentence slowly. "To the person who finds this book someday, please continue the story." Emma smiled immediately. "I love that." Oliver looked at the empty pages. "I wonder who wrote it." "Maybe someone who didn't want the story to end," Emma said quietly. The rain outside became stronger. The bookstore lights flickered for a moment. Downstairs, Mrs. Green called softly. "I'm making tea if you two want some." A few minutes later, Oliver and Emma sat near the window upstairs with warm cups in their hands. The room smelled like books, tea, and rain. Emma looked outside at the street below. "I used to visit bookstores with my father," she said softly. Oliver listened carefully. "He loved reading travel stories," she continued. "When I was little, he told me that every book carries someone's feelings inside it." Oliver looked at the blue book again. "Maybe that's true." Emma smiled gently. "What about you? Why do you like this place so much?" Oliver thought for a moment. Then he answered honestly. "I think this bookstore feels slower than the rest of the world." Emma laughed quietly. "I understand that." The clock downstairs rang softly. It was almost closing time. Neither of them noticed how quickly the evening had passed. Emma checked her phone. "My train is coming soon," she said. For some reason, Oliver felt a little disappointed. But he smiled anyway. "I guess the storm is ending." Emma stood near the stairs and looked back at him. "Can I ask something?" "Sure. If you continue the story in that book, what will happen next?" Oliver looked at the empty pages again. Then he smiled. "I don't know yet." Emma tilted her head slightly. "Maybe the traveler meets someone unexpected during a rainy evening." Oliver laughed softly. "Maybe." Downstairs, Mrs. Green handed Emma a small paper bag. "A gift," she said kindly. Inside was a tiny old bookmark with painted stars on it. Emma looked surprised. "Thank you." "You're welcome," Mrs. Green replied. At the door, Emma opened her umbrella and stepped outside. But before leaving, she turned back once more. "I hope the story continues," she said. Oliver held the blue book carefully in his hands. "I think it just did." Emma smiled warmly before walking into the rainy street. Oliver stood by the window and watched her disappear into the city lights. The bookstore became quiet again. But somehow, it no longer felt lonely. Later that night, Oliver opened the blue book once more. On the first empty page, he picked up a pen and began writing slowly. The rain was falling softly when a stranger entered the bookstore. Outside, the storm finally began to fade. And somewhere beyond the wet streets and moving trains, a new story had quietly begun. Thank you for spending this peaceful evening with me. Take a deep breath, relax, and remember. Sometimes the smallest moments become the most unforgettable stories. See you in the next episode.